Hey everyone, I'm back again with another session. We have already covered how to host a website on GitHub in our last session. This time we'll cover how to create a blog website and host it for free on GitHub. There is this tool called Jekyll. It's basically a static site generator with built-in support for GitHub, and we'll use this tool to create our blog website. Specifically, we'll use Jekyll theme to create our blog website. And since Jekyll uses Markdown syntax, we'll also cover Markdown syntax very briefly in this session. So before we start with the actual steps of creating a blog website, let's learn very briefly about the Markdown syntax. It's basically very easy to learn and it's a lightweight markup language. And one more thing I want to tell, like all the Markdown files have this .md extension. As you can see, this is index.md file. It's a markdown file with the content. And another point to remember is that it's mostly used for documentation purposes, and nowadays it's very common to use markdown for authoring blogs. That's why we are also using markdown for creating a blog website. Okay, now we'll learn a few syntax points for markdown. So we have this online site called dillinger.io. Okay, on the left hand side you can see all the syntax listed, and on the right hand side you can see how that particular syntax, that markdown syntax, is rendered. Okay, the first 4 lines you see the headings. Okay, so the hash represents the headings in markdown. So single hash is the largest heading and 6 hashes is the smallest heading. Okay, next is this is the syntax for the links, and we can also render a plain text. You can see it's rendered here perfectly fine, and then dashes are converted to list. Here also you can see these all dashes have been converted to list in markdown. And yeah, there's this angle bracket, this represents a highlighted text here. And apart from that, like there's a lot of other syntax as well that you can learn at your free time. Okay, we'll not cover all that in this session. Now we'll cover the steps for creating a blog website. So the very first step is to choose the theme for your blog site. There are multiple themes available online. For this particular session, we'll choose contrast Jekyll theme. So you can search on Google and you will see this is the GitHub repo link for the contrast theme. Let's click on this. Okay, so the next step is to fork this GitHub repository. Okay, when I say fork, I mean copy this repository to my account. Currently, you will see there are no repositories added under my account. Okay, let's click on the fork. So after the fork is complete, this repository is available under my account. You can see. So the next step is to update the name for this repository. We already covered in our last session. The name has to be in a specific format. The first word has to be your username and then GitHub, then .io. Now let's update few more things. So next to the about title, click on the settings button. Let's update the name for this theme. My personal blog site. Also update the URL. We already know the format for the URL. Yeah. Let's save changes. Yeah, so we have updated very few basic information on this repository, which we have copied to our account as part of the forking process. Okay. Now this should be available on the URL, this abhedmavi.github.io. So as you can see, this site is already up. The blog site is already up and is available here, and we can click on the about. So yeah, so all this content is added as part of that repository. We'll update few basic things for the blog now. For example, you can see we have this blog title. Let's update this blog title to be our name and then this description. Okay, so let's go to the repo, blog repo. So all this configuration is available under underscore config.yml file. You can update this file. Okay, let's update the title to be your name. Also the author. And for description, I'll use tag blogs. Okay, so let's update these changes. And it takes a little bit of time before the changes are published. Okay, so let's go to our site. So at this place, my name should appear, and here at the description also the tag blogs. Let's try to refresh. Yeah, so you can see the title is updated and the description is updated. Currently at the home page of this blog, we have a list of blogs, and we want to move this list of blogs to a separate link called blog, and we want to show a user related information or profile information at the home page of this blog. So in order to achieve this functionality, we'll add a new file called blog.md, and the content for this file are exactly the same as index.html file. So basically this code is responsible to show the list of blogs that we are seeing at the home page of the blog. Okay. Also, we don't want to use the HTML files. As I already mentioned earlier, we will use MD file. So we'll convert this index.html into index.md file. And since this code we have already copied to blog.md, we'll show some user related information at the home page. So I already have some information available. So let's copy this. Yeah, so I have updated some basic information related to the user at index.md file. Let's learn a little bit about the syntax of this index.md file. So at the top, this particular syntax that you see is called the front matter. It's basically between these triple dashes, we have few variables defined. So the layout basically means that we are using the page layout, and title, we have it as a blank. Okay. You can also see this under the Jekyll documentation site. The front matter is something which we define under the triple dashes. And below the front matter, we have a regular MD files, which we already learned earlier. After these changes, we need to update underscore config.yml file. So let's click on the edit button, and I've copied all the changes here. Basically what we are doing, we are updating this under navigation. Since we have updated the extension for index.html to index.md, so we are updating that. And yeah, we are also adding this blog.md here. Okay, so I'll copy all this and paste it here. Okay, and then commit changes. We'll also take a look what changes we have done. So as you can see, I've updated index.html to index.md, and we have deleted this readme. Now we are using blog.md. Okay, and also we have updated few, for example, my GitHub link. So this to Abhed Mavai, and then my GitHub URL and my Twitter URL. Okay, so these are the changes that we have done at the config YAML file. Okay, I think now those changes should be visible under our blog. So let's go to our blog and refresh it. Yeah, you can see now at the home page of this blog, you see some basic user information, right? And we have this blog link here. If you click the blog link, you see all the blogs available here. That's all for this session. In our next session, we'll cover how to create these blog posts that you see here. Okay, thanks everyone.